guys, Ash here, Watcher of Realms. Welcome to the video. Glad to have you all here with me today, talking a little bit of Watchers, kind of a beginner's walkthrough, I would say, more than a guide, trying to orient you if you're a brand new player, but if you're a player who has experience playing Raid Shadow Legends or other similar games in the genre, kind of with that context, how do you make sense and kind of recalibrate yourself to Watcher of Realms being a new player here? What strategies and kind of, I guess, your overall mindset and best practices and tips do we want to apply from Raid to Watcher of Realms, and kind of just orienting yourself with everything in the game? So I got a lot of feedback on this sponsored video on this channel that I thought I would re-upload it because I have a lot of new players still downloading and checking out this YouTube channel as well. So this is not a sponsored video, even though I say it is in that video because at the time it was. Either way, guys, I hope some of you find this helpful. Let's go ahead and roll the tape of a beginner's walkthrough for Watcher of Realms coming from Raid Shadow Legends. Hey guys, Ash here and Watcher of Realms. That's right, Watcher of Realms on my Raid Shadow Legends channel. Why am I putting it here when I have a Watcher of Realms YouTube channel already? It's about almost 1 year I've been uploading for Watcher of Realms, guys. Plenty of mediocre content for you guys to go ahead and check out there. I'll have it in the show notes below for this video. But alas, this is a sponsored video, so shout out to Moonton and Watcher of Realms for making this possible and sponsoring, well, the video. Today, I thought we would take a little bit of a break from the norm. You know, sometimes on these videos, I kind of just talk about like what's new in the game. But to me, that's not always effective because just as a viewer, I like to actually experience the game as a beginner, right? Like the beginner tips almost, kind of a walkthrough. Why does everybody like Watcher of Realms? Why do a lot of people like Watcher of Realms? It's actually a vibrant community of amazing content creators, like dozens of them. Mad Capper, a lot of like the former Raid creators have moved over to Watcher of Realms as well. I'll try to make a list, try to remember to make a list of those guys in the comments so you can kind of go along. Cold Brew also has a Watcher of Realms channel and quite a few others as well. Anyway, I digress. I figured I would just tell you why I like the game. How about that? And tell you, kind of guide you on as a brand new player, and I have a download link in the description and the pinned comment as well. As a new player, like what should you be focused on? In some ways, it's kind of similar to Raid, right? Like don't diversify your attention to too many different heroes. The verbiage, and here they're heroes, not champions. But I've gotten good at it over the last year. But yeah, don't try to go with like so many different heroes. Try to fully upgrade, you know, your first hero before you start focusing on all of them in the game. By the way, I'm gonna introduce you guys to my kitten. I let my 6-year-old name him, and his name is Mooney. So say hi, Mooney.
Hello again, fella humans, human fellas.
Climbing on the desk, no big deal. So anyway, focus on your first kind of hero, one hero at a time. Get them fully, you know, fully ranked up. It's very similar to Raid on the back end, right? The gameplay is completely different, but the back end, how we upgrade our heroes or our champions in the game, they max out at level 60, just like Raid, just like Raid. They have skills, just like Raid. You can upgrade said skills, just like Raid. Getting those skill, you know, they're stones in this game instead of books, but getting those are very scarce. They're very tough to get. However, the difference in this game is just frankly, it's way more kind of like player friendly, right? The difficult to get things are still difficult to get, but they're actually like more plentiful in the game. And that's not an opinion, it's just a fact. For example, let's just start with the shop in this game. As a new player, as a veteran player, the shop, the market in the game is gonna be where you spend, like, it's gonna be a daily thing for you in this game, which is weird because the market is absolute filth and trash inside Raid. But the market actually has like 4 different tabs. Kind of picture it like the bazaar and the clan shop and everything all like in one nice user interface, right? So first of all, the market, the black market here, like they're gonna give you really good stuff. A lot of them are gonna be worth spending your premium currency on, like diamonds, like, you know, refresh, auto fights. You guys know what those are, obviously. Stamina is like energy in this game. And insignias, they're kind of like superior potions, like big potions for ascension, right, in this game. Ascension is called promotion in this game, but it's the same exact thing, you know, at the end of the day. But you get all these free refreshes too, right? And then after, so every day you want to come, like all the players, everybody does this. That's kind of the first thing they do, is they go check out what's in the market. And in this game, silver or gold, same sort of thing, upgrading your gear with your artifacts, right? In this game, it's so much more plentiful than there's even a gold farming dungeon, right? So it's a lot more plentiful, meaning that 500 for a refresh, it's nothing. Use your gold refreshes every day, even in the beginning. 1,000 for a refresh, use them all. It's barely anything. And then the rest, you can get more premium resources with currency that you actually just get from playing the game. Like, this is not the guild coins, it's just from doing guild stuff. You can get like legendary skill tomes, for example, that don't break the bank, right? Like, I got this in a couple days, these points, right? And you can go on the arena shop or kind of like the bazaar. You can get like, you know, huge stamina potions, which is like a lot of energy, you know. In the awakening shop, again, you can get legendary skill tomes. You can get ancient summons, which are kind of like void shards in this game, right? So take advantage of the market. First heroes that I would focus on. So everybody at level 3 actually gets an insanely good epic. And epics in this game, they have like epic empowerment, right? Instead of empowerment, it's called awakening in this game, right? But Mari, you're gonna get on day 3, I think. It could be day 5, I think day 3, right? She's really freaking good. She's a debuffer and a control champion, right? So she has a big AoE icicle barrage, like freeze, basically an AoE freeze on her ultimate ability. There's ultimates in this game, right? And then ultimates are always like the highlight of the kit, along with passives, right? So legendaries have 2 passives, epics have 1 passive as kind of a rule in the game, right? She also has slow, which, well, slows the enemy, right? And then, guys, on her passive, targets inflicted with slow will basically get debuffed. Physical damage, magic damage, right? So they're going to get a 20% debuff. So now she's going to be your like decreased defense type champion, right? And she's going to be your control. It's really, really good. She's really good. Invest in her like as one of your top priorities. She's not going to be a huge DPS carry for you, but you guys know, coming from Raid, the value of control champions. They're not always like ultra apparent to a beginner, but ultimately they're going to help you a ton. So then after that, you're going to get your hands, everybody, for free on really one of the best epics in the game. Is going to be a big game-changing moment for your account, and it's Wrath. I was talking about empowerment just a moment ago. In this game, it's called Awakening. It's the same thing as empowerment, but it's different and better, right? This is why epics in this game have a huge inherent value, because it's way easier to get dupes of them. And when you do, you can awaken them. And when you awaken them, it's not a stat bonus like it is in Raid. You actually get extra abilities, or you get enhancement to the already existing abilities. Every hero's different, okay? So burning, he can add burning, which is like, you know, a 20% continuous damage over time, right? At A5, though, he basically gets a built-in lifesteal. So this is a fighter. There's fighters, there's defenders, like 2 different types of tanks or ground units in this game. He's a fighter, he does a lot of damage. But now he has built-in basically lifesteal, like healing based on his damage dealt. So that way he's kind of like a tank who can just, you can put him anywhere. You don't need a healer or anything like that, and he just survives. He's insanely good. You're going to be investing in him, and your big goal should be maxing out Wrath, right? So he's a daily login champion as well. And then eventually, once you unlock Void Rift, probably like week 2 or something, playing the game, a few weeks in, you'll get Olog, who's one of the best tanks in the game. Free, again. So for me, Mari, Olog, and Wrath are going to be 3 top priorities. Now, you'll obviously summon like really good heroes along the way, but these are 3 that every player should invest in. Whether you're free to play, whether you're a spender, like, go all out. Let me show you around a little bit. Heck, I haven't even shown you any gameplay. I apologize. Let me show you what the arena is like in this game. So it's on a cycle, right? So every type of hero has their time to shine in the arena in this game. Anti-air, AoE DPS, and single target DPS. So there are going to be different types of waves of monsters coming your way, and you're going to need different types of heroes to combat those waves. Mooney, you want to see the waves here, buddy?
Right there. That's the spot.
So this dude is basically gonna, so it's kind of like a race, the arena, which I find really fun. I wasn't sure about it at first, but it's really cool, right? So we want to kill all these spawns before the enemy kills all these spawns. Now, timing and placement are both very important in this game. That's something that we're not used to. That's why I said the gameplay is quite a bit different in Watcher of Realms versus Raid Shadow Legends. In Raid, like, turn order is important, speed tuning your team, making sure your debuffer goes first, and sure, that's important in this game, but there's actually a lot more strategy involved, because when you put a unit down, on the battlefield actually matters quite a bit as well in this game. Where you place them matters a lot. So don't even think like rotation like we do in Raid. Think rather, you know, what direction they're pointing, things like that, right? Because it's all about killing these spawns that come out. It's kind of like tower defense. I played tower defense before. Watcher of Realms, yeah, sure, like it is tower defense element. There's spawns, you got to kill them before they get to the core, right? That's the inherent gameplay loop, but it doesn't feel like your typical tower defense to me, right? It definitely has a vibe to it, and it's certainly quite unique, but either way, that's what you're doing in this game, right? So even the PvE areas do have some of these dynamics. Now, that being said, not everything. In fact, when we talk about boss content in this game, there's a ton in this game that is not wave content. They have so many bosses. Watcher of Realms has only been out for like a year and a half. So you're getting in like close to the ground floor, right? Meaning that there's 300 champions, not 2,000 in this game, right? So it's a good time to like get in on this game because there's still a lot to be added, but they've added a freaking ton. In the year that I've been playing this game, they've added like, I don't know, geez, 8 bosses, including a second guild boss. So let me just show you a little bit here, right? I don't have my team auto saved right now, but just so you can see the guild boss experience. Here's guild boss 1. It's GB1, GB2 in short term. Let me just see what I get for rewards first. It's very similar in terms of like the outside the gameplay loop to Raid, which is really nice because as a Raid player picking up Watcher of Realms, I was like, oh man, am I gonna have to learn a lot here? I don't know if I have the time or the patience to learn another game, but honestly, a lot of it is very intuitive to you guys, right? You'll pick it up, you'll understand. And I actually I've said this before, but I really enjoy playing Watcher of Realms alongside Raid. This isn't meant to be a video like, oh, it's so much better than Raid, it's a Raid killer. It's more of a video about like, I like both these games, right? And I like playing them together because they're so unique, you know, that it's a good kind of side game, for me at least. Hope I can say that in a sponsored video, I don't know. We'll see if it's cut. With this guild boss, number 1, basically has this destructive spit ability. It's like a shield. If you don't pop the shield in a certain amount of time, he wipes your team. Here it is, destructive spit. If I don't do this damage before this goes down, my whole team wipes. So guild boss in this game becomes a battle of, can we get that destructive spit? Can we get that shield down before we get spat on? So because I don't have the team properly geared up right now, there's free gear swaps, I should mention. You know how there's gear loadouts in Raid on the last update? This game has unlimited free gear swaps from one hero to another, right? So there's never a gold cost associated. So what I'm trying to say is half this team is naked right now, so we're gonna wipe right now or close to, because we didn't get the shield down, right? But that's how guild boss works in a nutshell. And then there's a bunch of gear raids and stuff like that. I'll end with showing you some of my favorite heroes in the game. I've already given you kind of a good roadmap. Focus on a few heroes. You guys know the drill. The good news is it's a lot less arduous to farm up your first kind of heroes in the game. There's no like mastery farming or anything like that, scroll farming. There's no, I guess a lot of the pain points, they just simply are removed in this game, you know? So let me go to the Raid section. This is like basically our dungeon section in Raid, but even more so, it has everything here. There's faction trials, which are very similar to faction wars, right? You get 1 open a day. These are all the factions in the game. And, you know, you can do this. And there's also a basic trial, which you can do every day to get stat bonuses that apply everywhere in the game, just like Raid. There's Tide. I'm not going to get into all that right now. I was going to show you my favorite. I should tell you this. In the early game, you can focus on just progressing in campaign. Like, what should you do in the early game, right? Focus on progressing in campaign. And there's some key stages. So what do you want to do, guys? You want to focus on campaign in the beginning of the game, right? Focus on progressing in campaign. As you do, you'll start unlocking these areas that are EXP raids, so you can farm, you know, experience there. The one thing about this game in the early game is don't stress out too much about resources or screwing up your account or anything like that. I think focus on those heroes that I told you about. You might pull some good legendaries along the way. This is a permanent fusion in the game, by the way. Abomination, one of 2. Micah's the other one. They're both really good. Abomination especially, I really love. But basically, go in and try to form your first team, progress. Just understand that the gear that you get in the early game, similar to Raid, Like, you guys, you play Raid, you understand. The gear really, really, really sucks. So don't waste your time or your energy, like literally in the game, right? Your stamina. Don't waste it on farming gear incessantly, right? Because that gear, you're gonna outlive it really quickly. Get your gear from the Dwarven Association, from the black market where we started this video, and don't waste all your stamina like there. Instead, focus your stamina in the early game on promoting and upgrading your heroes that you're using, right? I think that's the best advice I can give to especially new players in terms of where to focus your time, your energy, and your resources, and, you know, allocate all those things to actually get good dividends. Because the gear that you get in the early game, it's trash. It's trash. Other than promotions, you can just focus on progressing in campaign and also progressing in gear raids. This is where we get our gear, right? Gear Dungeon 1 and 2, that's kind of newer content, kind of closer to end game content, although they have, you know, beginner stages that all are associated with the Forge. But for the most part, your weapons and your breastplates are gonna come from Gear Raid 1. And then Gear Raid 2 and 3 give you bangles, amulets, and rings, right? There's only 5 gear slots in this game. So Silas here, one of the best heroes in the game, one of my personal faves. I guess like all of these top heroes I've invested the most time into, and certainly there's some of the best. Silas, look how awesome these heroes look, by the way. Ardia, Valkyra, I love me some Valkyra, Hatsuit, Ajax, Zillatu, one of the best guild boss DPSs in the game. Kriya, not so much, not that great, but she's not that bad. We talked about Abomination, Nyx, Setrum. They do have like kind of this, I don't even know what you'd call this aesthetic, robot aesthetic, and some interesting. Let me show you Artemis. He's a really weird one. I got this guy, super OP, Praetus, probably the strongest hero in the game. Look at Artemis. This guy, weird looking, man. I mean, super cool. But man, what an aesthetic. Look at that gun, man. Oh my God. Anyway, gear wise, we have right side and we have left side. Think of the left side as the top row in Raid. Think of the right side as the bottom row in Raid, meaning that percentage gear can go on the right side, but the left side, the main stat, can only be base attack and base HP for the weapon and the chest plate. So just focusing on getting gear on those heroes and building your first hero, building your first team, you'll be good to go. So guys, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and download Watcher of Realms. The download link will be in the pinned comment as well as the top line of the description. And thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you to Moonton again for sponsoring this video. And as always, take care, guys.